So here we go. We've managed to go 2 hours and 8 minutes. But, before the weekend, you're thinking the form that Palace were in, okay, a point for Everton there would kind of be okay, wouldn't it? But given what Leicester did, they leapfrogged them out of the bottom three now on goal difference. How do you view that result for Everton at the weekend, and where do you see them now in this relegation battle? It's
so difficult to say. I look back to last week and about Everton winning their home games. I think to be beaten by Fulham, that was huge, and it was certainly a kick in the teeth for Evertonians. You then looked at Crystal Palace away, the form that they've been in under Roy Hodgson. You probably would have taken a point away from home, but it was just the fact that I think Leicester got those 3 points and leapfrogged them. You then look at Everton's next home game. Who is it against? Newcastle, who performed absolutely brilliant yesterday. So, of course, it's going to be difficult. I think the positive is that Dominic Calvert-Lewin is back. Hopefully he can stay fit. 'Cause I think just having that focal point, of course, it's going to take him time to get back to match fitness. But just having him there, I think that presence up top is huge. Decore will also be back, which I think they've massively missed him. The way that Sean Dyche has set his team up with him in that sort of 4-5-1, but him joining in and getting back. So his contributions attacking and defensively have been a huge loss not having him there. And I think having Onana back fit too, just that energy in those midfield areas. So I think if everybody's back fully fit, can they sort of grind out some results? But the next game at home to Newcastle's going to be tough. Yeah, the statistics about home and away are significant, aren't they? Now winless in their last 12 Premier League away matches, failed to score a goal in 9 of those. But if we look at their final 6 games, Stephen, can they rely on their 3 home games with Newcastle, as Sue was saying, being the next one with Manchester City in there as well, and Bournemouth on the final day? They're going to have to try and pick up some points, you would think, in particular, the one on May the 1st. Yeah. My predictions last week for the Arsenal and Manchester City run-in, I put Everton as getting a draw against Manchester City, because that game is in between the 2 Real Madrid games for Manchester City, and I just wonder whether they might take their eye off it. But I thought they'd beat Fulham. I really did. I thought that game, that they'd win that game. I thought they'd have enough. I think Sean Dyche probably approached this game against Crystal Palace and thought, just don't get beat. Forget what goes on around us. As long as we don't get beat, we can build our confidence back up. I think Decore is the most important player coming back. I don't think it's Calvert-Lewin. He's not prolific. He hasn't scored goals when he's been in the team. He's looked pretty weak, if I'm being completely honest. But you've got to give him service. You've got to put crosses into the box. You've got to play to his strengths. Now, I think Sean Dyche will do that. I think he'll obviously Damari Gray will play on the left, and he'll just look to flood balls into the box. I think they need to pick up at least a win on the road somewhere, and then rely on the home form, especially against Bournemouth. They'll look at that game and think it might just go to the wire, mightn't it? It's a real concern for Everton. Yeah. Well, Everton currently on 28 points, same as Leicester. You've got Nottingham Forest on 27, Southampton on 24, looking upwards. There's just a point to Leeds. Then comes a bit of a gap, 4 points up to Bournemouth. If we look at the lowest points total to survive in the Premier League was 34 points set by West Brom in 2005. Are we going to see a new record this year? And if so, how many points do you think you need to stay up? I think you could, and I think just because of how unpredictable the season's been, I think even when you look at the likes of Liverpool, they go and beat Manchester United one week and then they go and get beat to Bournemouth. Drag us into this chat, Sue. What are you doing? I'm just trying to say how unpredictable it is. And then obviously against Nottingham Forest, you saw like a real fight from Nottingham Forest. We thought Southampton were done and dusted, and then they go and produce that performance against Arsenal. I think everybody's capable of picking points up against teams that maybe you wouldn't expect. So we probably will see a low points tally of a team staying up just. Can you put a figure on it? Absolutely not. Okay. Could come down to goal difference. So if it could do. Yeah, it could come down to goal difference.